Hi, my name is Ariel and welcome to Mermaid Musings. So I wanted to make a video that's a little bit different than the other videos I've seen on the United States Pluto Return. I don't want to put my own political opinions on this, which is something I feel that a lot of other astrologers have done, which I don't mean that as a criticism. It's their platform. They can do what they want with it. I just wanted to do something a little bit more unbiased and where you can put your own opinions to it. Pluto returns are scary, but I want to focus less on the fear mongering and what you can do as an individual to benefit the collective. That way you don't feel like you're getting dragged down by this energy. You can feel empowered in how you choose to handle it. I know it's scary, but everyone needs to calm down, take a deep breath, and figure out how to use this Pluto return to make the world a better place. If you're living in the United States, this is basically going to be the backdrop to your entire year. Everyone's freaking out about February 2nd, 2022, but in reality, we've been in this energy for a long time already. It's just going to be an exact hit of this energy, but you kind of already know what to expect. We've already been dealing with the themes and the lessons of this energy. It's just going to get cranked up an extra notch. We have 3 exact hits this year because Pluto goes retrograde. The other dates for the Pluto return are July 12th and December 28th, 2022. So those are going to be the most intense periods. You want to pay attention to what's going on those days because they'll give you key insights on what to expect for the rest of the United States' Pluto return. In reality, Pluto in the United States chart is at 27 degrees, which is a pretty late degree. This means we're experiencing the United States' Pluto return the entire rest of the time. Pluto is in Capricorn, and that's going to be until 2024. Even after Pluto moves into Aquarius, we're still going to be experiencing this energy for a little bit because it's still going to be close enough in degrees. Although the energy will feel different because Pluto's moved into a different sign and it's going to feel less intense. So I guess what I'm trying to say is we've already been in this energy for a long time and we're going to continue to be in this energy for a long time, so don't freak out about it. This energy is obviously more about the collective. However, you as an individual can choose to be helpful or hurtful during this time. Don't bury your head in the sand. Pluto doesn't like that. You need to be looking at the darkest places, trying to uncover what's been there for a long time. Don't hide away from darkness, embrace it. It's only through darkness that we can come into the light. Having preconceived ideas about what's bad or good isn't going to help you. That's only going to mess you up. Look for truth, even if that truth makes you uncomfortable. That's actually probably the truth that you need to be searching for so you can come to terms with it. So you don't get so stuck in your preconceived notions about what the world should be that you miss what it actually is. Or you'll misunderstand what's the best path to take forward. You have to keep in mind, Capricorn is the sign that makes the most mistakes, but it can be extremely powerful if it learns from those mistakes. If is the key word there because it often doesn't learn. It can easily wind up in a pattern of making the same mistakes over and over and over again. So don't be one of those people who contributes to making the same mistakes because there's going to be plenty of people like that. Everyone wants power and control over each other. They want their social group, their ideas and beliefs to have power and control over other people who don't share those same ideas. But that's not good because what you wind up having happen is then people fighting each other for power instead of distributing power equally. And you might not like how that goes because that might backfire on you. The people you were trying to get power and control over might wind up getting power and control over you. And you don't know how that happened. Once again, this Pluto return is taking place in the sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn is harsh life lessons. Every misstep that's taken is going to have consequences. So you can't just jump in and take action without thinking because it might backfire on you. People who seek out power and control are usually the people who don't deserve to have it. If you're seeking out power, there's going to be people there waiting to take it away from you, and honestly, neither of you deserves it. The way this energy works best is if everyone has power equally. So before you push for something, you have to ask yourself if it's taking power and control away from someone else. And if it is, you need to find a solution where you still get what you want, but not at the consequence of another person. Whatever happens over this period of time is going to shape the next 250 years. So everyone needs to be extremely cautious in their actions. People need to think carefully and consider every option before making forward progress. This isn't time to take action and figure it out later, or to just be thinking about yourself. You need to think about what's best for everyone. So this is the second Pluto return, and it's the only one that we're going to be experiencing over Pluto retrograde. This is about examining what happened during the first return and up until this point. More than anything, the fact Pluto is in retrograde means this is about careful consideration. This is about slowing down and analyzing every detail of the big picture, which I know that sounds like a lot because it is. This isn't about taking action. It's about mentally forming a plan for the future, knowing that you might have to adjust in the future, but at least having a roadmap of where you want to go. When you re-examine the past few months, you're gonna look at some things in a different light because you've had the benefit of time. You know how things have played out, which that might be differently than how you thought they would play out. Which, if that's the case, then you might have to reconsider some opinions you once held. Just know that that's okay. There's a lot of fixed energy going on during this time, meaning people are gonna have a hard time adjusting, going to have a hard time changing their minds. It's gonna be hard for people to look at the same problem, but from a different perspective. They're gonna wanna stay the course, even if that course is actually taking them in the opposite direction of what they truly want. People are going to have been on one path for so long that they just refuse to change paths, no matter how much information has thrown at them or if there's a better path. But if you're not happy and you're not getting the results that you want, then you need to consider making a change. This is the final exact Pluto conjunction. There will not be another one again for another 250 years, so you never have to worry about this ever again. The day after the final conjunction, December 29th, Mercury goes retrograde in Capricorn. Also, we have Venus and the Sun in Capricorn. The Sun matters to a lesser extent. What you really want to look at is Mercury and Venus, because they're both not tightly conjunct, but they are conjunct to Pluto. So this is bringing in intense compounding energy on top of the Pluto return. It's adding more pressure onto it, and Mercury is really challenging us to think about what's going on in the United States during this time. It wants us to carefully analyze. Don't overlook any detail, even details that you don't think are important, because they might wind up being extremely important later on. Pluto is all about uncovering what's underneath, what's hidden. You have to look outside your own bubble. Social media likes to keep us in this echo chamber where we only follow people that we already agree with. Get out of that echo chamber. Everyone, and I mean literally everyone, has gaps in their knowledge somewhere. So it's your job to try to fill in those gaps the best that you can. Staying stuck in your own bubble, only talking to people who already agree with you, is never going to help you fill in that gap. It's not going to hurt you to look at other people's perspectives or talk to other people who have different opinions than you. It might feel scary and uncomfortable because you're not used to it, but this energy wants to push you into those scary, uncomfortable places. So work with this energy. You're always going to be better off when it comes to astrology working with the energy than working against the energy, even if you might hate the energy. The good news is we also have Venus there, and Venus is all about love and connection. So this has the opportunity. Notice that I say opportunity, not that it will happen, but it can bring people together. For people to talk and communicate with one another so they can understand where each other are coming from. But people have to actually be willing to do this in order for it to happen. So be that person who leads with love. Don't be someone who tries to divide people. That doesn't do any good. Work from a place of love instead of a place of anger, and you might wind up changing the person who you're talking to's mind. You might be able to get them to work with you, or at least understand where you're coming from on issues that you really care about. And isn't that what we all want, to make the world a better place? Focus on making the world better for everyone. Think long term instead of focusing on the anger and the uncomfortability of the present moment. So there's some pretty intense aspects going on with the United States natal chart this year that has nothing to do with the Pluto return, though they're still going to affect everyone who lives there, so I'll cover them briefly. If you feel like I'm throwing a bunch of dates at you, that's because I am, but don't worry, I'm going to list all these dates below so you can check it out anytime you want. The United States natal moon is in the sign of Aquarius at 27 degrees. Of course, we also have Saturn in Aquarius currently, and Saturn is harsh life lessons. So as Saturn moves closer and closer to the moon, hardships and lessons are going to be amplified, especially emotional ones. We're building towards this conjunction until June 4th when Saturn goes retrograde in Aquarius at 25 degrees. The conjunction's still there, but it's not exact, and it's going to ease off in tension. Then on October 23rd, Saturn goes direct, so this tension starts to amp back up. We finally reached the exact conjunction on February 22nd, 2023. Notice that's exactly a year after the first US Pluto return. Saturn finally leaves Aquarius on March 7th, 2023, so this is gonna be a long-term transit you have to deal with. People are going to make mistakes during this time that affects everyone else. If you're aware of this, then maybe you can sidestep some of those mistakes. The United States moon is in its third house, the house of communication. So people need to be careful how they talk to other people during this time. They need to be considerate of other people's feelings, even when they have disagreements. If you trample over other people's emotions, then they're not going to listen to what you have to say because they're too caught up in their heart to think logically. So talk to other people, keeping their emotions in mind. Don't dismiss other people's emotions, because as soon as you do, they're going to dismiss everything that you're saying. Aquarius is the sign of groups and the sign of individualism. So we are, as a collective, trying to learn how to maintain both. Some people are swinging from one extreme to another, where some people are only focused on groups and some people are only focused on individualism. Too much of either one of those things isn't good. Groupthink kills your ability to think for yourself, and a hyper focus on individualism takes away your ability to see the big picture. Which, being able to see the big picture actually does benefit you as an individual in the long run. So you need to work on finding balance between these two extremes. Because when you can hold both points of view, that's when you're actually going to be able to function your best, not only for yourself, but also for the people around you. The United States Mars is in the sign of Gemini. We are going to experience Mars in Gemini from an extended period of time, from August 20th to March 25th. The reason Mars will be in Gemini for so long is because Mars goes retrograde from October 30th to January 12th. Mars is action, aggression, and anger, so this might be amplifying these traits in some people. But what this transit is really asking us to do is revisit our actions and our aggression and the consequences of that, whether those consequences were intended or not. Especially when Mars is in retrograde. This is asking us to re-examine our anger towards one another. Where are we justified in our anger, or where have we gotten so riled up by other people that we're just angry for no real justified reason? Are we putting our anger to good use that's helping to propel society forward in a good way? Or are we making the problems that we claim to care about worse because our anger is misdirected? Are you even angry at the right people? Are you putting your focus on people who really don't have an impact on your life instead of people who actually do? I think there's a good chance that cancel culture is going to be examined under a microscope during this time, with people asking, is cancel culture really good for us as a society? Overall, I think this transit wants us to discover a more healthy way for us as the collective to channel our anger. One that's productive to build society up instead of us all ripping each other apart. So that's it. I hope I didn't stir the pot too much. If you liked this video, please do me a big favor and be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon below if you haven't already to see when more astrology transits pop up. I do monthly predictions every month, obviously. I've got videos coming up on the North Node in Taurus. I've got a video coming up about what to expect astrology-wise for the rest of 2022. So be sure to stay tuned for all that new cool information. Also, follow me on social media. I have all those linked down below as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.